Good afternoon. It is Sunday, September 22nd, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to start a regular routine of doing this live stream at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we'll go through all of the coins for what's trading on BitMEX and see what's going on in those. But before I get to that, let me do some housekeeping items here to be sure that everything is working here as it's supposed to. I'm trying to get the live chat to be coming up on the screen at the same time here. And I don't see it. Let me continue on with the next couple slides and we'll see what actually happens. This is my first time trying out this new layout here, so bear with me. First of all, let's jump into the disclaimer and say this isn't trading advice, just market observation. And the layout here today is, we're going to start off with cutting the music off abruptly, and from this page here I want to make sure that chat box is working. What is the deal here? I think that might have got it. But maybe not. There we go. That solves the problem. And I've got that same problem on every screen that we go through here. I apologize for that. Now, the purpose of this stream is to go through ADA, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, Tron, and Ripple, and we go through the same routine every day. We're going through the same four sets of indicators. We're going through the relative strength index, we're going through the on-balance volume, we're going through the MACD indicator, and then the Ichimoku cloud, at the same time that we're going through a basic trading plan that you can go and download from my website, IntroToCryptos.ca. You can put your email address in the homepage and you get a 1-hour webinar that explains the trading plan that we're working on here. Not just the trading plan, but a lot of the philosophy and strategy that goes along with it too. Entry levels are only the beginning of the game. As you know, we're working on the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here. And the big game is after the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shapes up. So hello there, Evgeny Irmak. Good to have you along. Where in the world are you from? Now, as we are seeing here, yesterday prices were in, let me zoom in on this. I think this is about exactly where the live stream was yesterday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so that we can see that right after the live stream is done, we were looking for the RSI to change. And we were saying, what's the RSI going to do in its change? If it breaks down lower, we know that we are on our way down. It is important that we are in a 1, 2, 3 top formation. We saw the uptrend line here. We saw the 1, 2, 3s shaping up. And then we're looking for what would the RSI look like if it was going bullish, or what would it look like if it's going bearish. So now we had those examples from yesterday, and we have the evidence, the proof of it actually turning out as we were predicting. And this is the most amazing part of trading. Well, no, making the money is the most amazing part of trading. To see these patterns and then make a decision and make your money grow from doing this is phenomenal. And not easy all the time. Now that we have this formation in ADA, what I've been wanting for in all of these alts is for them to come back down and give us a beautiful place to be getting in. For them to come back now to the 50% level and all of these alts is going to give us a place to strategize our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation add-on right in this area. So it is already right now back to exactly at its 50% level, back to historical support and resistance levels now. So this is the time to be watching for this to be turning around, going the other way. I don't know. As we go along, we'll see that Bitcoin looks like it is breaking out to go higher. And I think that it's going to push all of the alts down really sharply. And we can see the evidence of that here in Bitcoin dominance going up. So let me know in the chat here. I'm going on here. IHOP. I will take a look at that one for sure. If you've got any requests, I can do those. Let me know in the chat if this view is working out for you. If you like this view from what we've been doing before. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button while we're live, because you'll get some dancy guy on the screen and you'll be on the new subscribers list right up on the front of the page. So this is what we're already looking for, just looking at the RSI. And if this is coming down here and giving us the change round, I'm looking for the RSI to give us this divergence again now. I want this to come up and give us a 1, 2, 3 in the RSI that comes right to the middle level. And as that's breaking higher and as this is breaking higher, then I want to dance on that one. Fort Lauderdale, Zen. Sure, we'll do IOP, which is new to me. So I'm glad you brought that up. I love looking at new coin charts. And then we'll look at Zen as well. But first I want to get through these big 6 and let's see how this presentation works out. So on the 4-hour time frame, we can see, and I'm not too keen on this indicator. It's kind of getting less important to me. And then we see this top formation, and it did give the divergence here. It did give the bearish divergence as this top formation is shaping up. So I'll have to just pay attention. Now that we're at this 50% level, we're still watching for this to turn around and give us some juice. So let's go into the next indicator. We're still in the 4-hour time frame, and this is great because yesterday we were in the quandary saying that the 4-hour had crossed negative and we're wanting it to go up from here. And so we couldn't get a buy signal out of this until the 4-hour crossed positive. And we zoomed in on this yesterday to look at what's the 1-hour doing. Could we get the 1-hour giving us any juice? If this had turned to cross positive, maybe the 4-hour would have picked up, but we could see that this didn't. It started to flare negative right after that episode, and it gave us our signal. Exactly what we were talking about here. I was leaning for up and up more, but as this starts to go, I get rid of where I'm leaning, and I see, well, okay. When I start off a trade, I assume that I'm wrong. There's so many things I can never know about the market that I try to assume that I'm wrong, start off with a very small trade, and add on only if I'm correct. This one didn't prove me correct. And now, as soon as it's breaking down here and this is flaring out, my expectation is it's coming back to those 50% levels. Now, at the 50% level, we're watching for this to cross over positive because it has actually dipped down pretty good for this 1-hour time frame. This is what we're looking for now, is these crosses to the positive as we're setting up in the downtrend. Maybe there's still more down to go. And that's okay because we're watching for that 1, 2, 3 formation. I got kicked out. My stop loss kicked me out of my TRX trade. We'll take a look at that in a bit. So of course, I want to go into the 15-minute time frame. Does it give me any cross to the positive? Nothing, no juice here yet. And no 1, 2, 3 formation to set up on. While in the background, look at Bitcoin easing up here. So I think the alts and the Bitcoin dominance is at evidence. Even more so, look at the spread here turning out on this coin. So right at the very beginning here, as Bitcoin is starting to go, this is going, I'm out. I just tap out right here now. So let's go back. I'll leave this in the 4-hour time frame for the next coin. Now for ADA, the 4-hour time frame in the Ichimoku cloud. It gave us a great buy signal here. Worked out great. Then we had our 1, 2, 3 top formation. That crossed over, and I'm not sure if it crossed over yesterday on the episode or if it crossed over just after, but pretty clearly right after it broke through. So if I go into the 1-hour time frame, this was bouncing along in the cloud and indecisive. So it made a decision and everything went with it. You can see all of our indicators all went with it as it broke those levels. So another high five to this Ichimoku cloud. And I'll put aside that question, should we be using the standard Ichimoku or the crypto Ichimoku settings? I did a comparison and I like the standard settings better. And when I went through and reviewed it, I'll have to do another review though. Anyway, this is pretty clear. On that moment, after that 1, 2, 3 top formation, you have to have your plan set up in advance. You have to know this, you have to practice it, and this wasn't easy because it's not a nice trend line. But to know this 1, 2, 3 top and put all these things together, this takes practice in advance. It takes practice and planning in advance. Just like landing an airplane in a crosswind landing, you can't learn how to do that while you're landing a plane in a crosswind landing. You've got to practice that all ahead of time. Now, let's go on to the next coin, and I'm experimenting with a new scene switcher here. Oh, Evenji Irmak, you're speaking Greek to me, I'm certain. So let me switch scenes, and I fail because I don't have BCH ABC favorited here. BCH, well, I had not BCH U19. Let me favorite this one, and now we'll start reviewing it. Well, that was inadvertent. Let's see how this turns out. 4-hour time frame. This was looking phenomenal as a big long-term buy-in, and then petered out. So it was really building up here nice, came right up to where the breakout point of the 1, 2, 3 is, and said, not yet. Bitcoin in the background is showing some strength while this is breaking down, so it gives me the idea that this is going to break down further yet. So I wouldn't go short in it. It's not a short signal for me, even though it may go down. Not every move down is a short signal. So I'm still going to wait for this and see what happens. If it comes down to these levels, if it creates a 1, 2, 3 here, would be even better because it's right on this trend line. Right on this trend line. If it made a 1, 2, 3 right here at this support and resistance, that would be pretty cool. Especially if we saw the RSI building along with it. Now, I do have BCH here. So we had a lot of on-balance volume on this, more so than before, but it's flattened right off, so we have to wait on this. All the indicators say to sit back and wait now and see what's happening. For if I go on to BCH, look at that. In the 4-hour, cross to the negative, and a pretty important cross here too. When you have this trend line break and it's gone down, that's an important trend line break right here that all of these have done at the same time. Ethereum, I haven't got there yet. ADA, Bitcoin Cash. All right, now I am not seeing the chat properly. I see. This is the same problem I'm going to have for everyone. There. I just didn't have that set up properly this time. 4-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame. In this time frame, we're watching for the RSI, or the MACD, to switch over and cross to the positive. Nothing going on here. So this is like maintenance. Watch to see where this pattern shapes up. Nothing going on here that we can dig our teeth into. And even on the short-term time frame here, it's top formation and down it's come. What are we at? The 1-hour time frame. Let's go out to the 12-hour, still above the cloud. And the 4-hour, it's just bouncing off the cloud. It could consolidate here and become a buy signal in an uptrend. That would be phenomenal. That's what we're really watching for here now. And it has to create a bit of a formation, a bit of a structure. It has to, like the mountain climber, you need something, some place to put your toe hold on, not just one candle. Otherwise, it feels like it's just going to break off and it could just flip right down fast. So until it makes some formation, it is just a watch-only market right now. Now, let me go on to EOS and change the chat box so that it is above. There we go. Getting the hang of it now. Now over to EOS. I hope this makes it easier to go through afterwards and skip right to the coin that you want the information on. Let me see. We're on the 4-hour time frame of the relative strength index, Again, just from the chart patterns, the relative strength index can only give me an idea when my chart pattern is correct or not. And since it's broken below this 1, 2, 3 top formation, and it did it right here, right on the break of this parallel channel here, the tiny little 1, 2, 3 top formation, that's when the RSI calved. And then we can see that we had the divergence and a confirmation of a sell signal right there as it was coming up. I wonder what the MACD is going to tell us as we get into that. So I really have to have the RSI come back to something and turn around, give us some sort of divergence now. So this one is hands off as well. Maybe if you're a short scalper, you could get in there for a quick squeeze. It could come back a good percentage wise, because if that old adage of the 50% level is correct, it does have some ways to come back, and it would make perfect sense if it came back to these levels. All the support and resistance right here. And if it did and gave us the RSI turnaround while it's coming back there, we are in happy land dancing for long positions. Let's go on to EOS in the relative strength index. I mean, on balance volumes. Lots of good volume, kind of dumpy here. So certainly no buying, but it does add on to that sell signal. It does add bias to the sell signal. If we go on now to EOS and the relative and the MACD indicator, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So this, wow, it actually gave this divergence we were pointing out the other day, saying, is this a top formation? Is this? And I put it out and tweeted it, and I'm not sure if I tweeted it, but it's in our alerts for sure. Now, with all of these crosses to the negative, this is pretty obvious going down further yet from here. This was a strong break, and now we're down below important levels. If Bitcoin takes a tick up here in the background, this is going to just panic sell. And I've been calling for this for a while, but I've been a little bit early on that. And being early with leverage can always kill you unless you have good risk control rules. So now let's go on to EOS in the Ichimoku cloud. In the 4-hour time frame, we can see it's gone through the cloud. So there's no testing this as a buy signal in an uptrend. It has failed through the cloud there on the 4-hour time frame. If I go into the 1-hour time frame and draw this back, this caught the fail earlier. This caught it here, but it's difficult because it goes up and through the cloud and back and through the cloud, and we've had some pretty good candles to the downside, so it's not easy trading, that's for sure. The only really easy or not difficult signal was right in here to have gone short there, but as soon as you put your stop loss just below your entry, now you're getting kicked out again and you're trying to get into a different short position. Tough market to trade this one, especially at this time frame. If we step out to the 12-hour time frame, then we're only just coming up to a buy signal after this. Really, it's just only starting to change direction and give us a confirmation of where to be starting a position. This is only just coming around to it. Everything else is all whale food range, jumping in and out. Once it starts here, we can start building a position. I'll talk more about that later. Let's go on to Ethereum and move over to... Before we go to Ethereum, I'd like to take a minute to say thank you to the people who are supporting this channel over on Patreon. We have Gunbot University Wally, who also is the stream boss right now. And we also have Chris Lynch, Crypto Street, Julian, Carl, Patrick, Romeo, Philip, Test, and Usman Shafi. And I want to give an extra special thank you for, I'm too far away from this monitor. That doesn't help. Bossy. I had to make that bigger so I could see it. Thank you for dropping by in our Discord chat and saying that you like the channel, you like the long-term view of things. I appreciate that. So if you guys are new to the channel, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and come on over and join us on Discord. Now let's go into Ethereum. and put the chat box in its place. Are we looking at Ethereum? There we are. Now, Ethereum was harder for me to be bullish on yesterday, because yesterday, as we zoom in on this, let's go into, we were right at the top. We were right at the 1, 2, 3 top formation here. 1, 2, 3 top. We were watching trend line after trend line, saying, I don't know, if it breaks here, it's not so good. If it breaks this level, it's not so good. If it breaks this, it's not so good. And sure enough, it broke that, and down it has come. What do I think? Yes, I do think it's going to go further. I think will come back further. And I'm still not shorting this one either. And it could be shortable. Look at how overbought that was. Really crazy on the 12-hour time frame. I didn't see that before. Beautiful. Now let me clear this off and zoom in on this now. So we're on the 4-hour time frame. The RSI is pulling back. I expect it to come back more, and we'll watch for the RSI to give us a bottom and a divergence now. And we're going to be looking to trade on the trend going up. So I'm looking to ease off when it tops out, maybe take a bit of my position off, and then to put the nitro back on when we come back to the bottom of the parallel channel and the prices are making the 1, 2, 3, and we're getting all of our indicators going positive. So I already know my plan in advance. I know what I'm going to do if it does this, what I'm going to do if it does that. And now I'm sort of just talking it through day by day as this unfolds. And if you find this helpful, you'll probably really like the 1-hour webinar that gives the complete trading system from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, 4, 5. And you know what? There's a new stage I'm going to be putting in the middle of that flow as well. So if you sign up on the website, you will get access to that when I first do that report. Let's go on to Ethereum now in the on balance volume. Selling actually not bad. It held it on pretty good all the way right up to here, but it does show a good bunch of buying here, the blow off top style, and then we've got a similar top but much less buying volume. And that at the top is what we're looking for. That is our exit signal that gives us that lead to know that, okay, we're getting out now and not later when the market proves us that we should get out. And even then, I would only be exiting part of my position. You may want to say, buy here, sell half of it here, and keep half of it. You've already paid for your entire position. Redistribute that profit into something else and keep your free position in this market. It's a phenomenal way to be building your crypto portfolio, especially right now as we have these pumps and dumps and the popcorn moves of things taking off and then pulling back. Planning for that ahead of time could be phenomenal. Now, I want to look at the MACD indicator on the 4-hour time frame, because yesterday we also saw that right at this time, the 4-hour MACD had crossed to the negative. And they were saying, well, that's not good. We really had to have this histogram pull back to the positive to give us the bullishness and continue on. But good or bad, knowing that this is going negative and we're having a top formation gave us the potential to have the opportunity to take a short position there. And at 5 times leverage, 3 times leverage, you're making some pretty good profit off of this move. Of higher leverage, then you're gambling. Now that it's come back to these levels, we'll just continue to watch it go down, and we'll see when that turns. When it turns, we'll see if we can map out a 1, 2, 3. Until then, we're just sort of watching this day by day, and we'll confirm by looking at the Ichimoku cloud on the 4-hour time frame. Is not saying get out yet. So this could really help us, knowing that what our plan is, if it gets back into these ranges and starts to move up, we'll watch for that turnaround signal. What about the 1-hour time frame? Already punctured through it, already in a sell signal, crossed over to a sell, crossed to a sell, broke through the cloud, sell, 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 right at this 1, 2, 3 top formation. A beautiful confirmation, because we had the 4-hour MACD cross to the negative here. We have the 1-hour Ichimoku cloud giving us the confirmation of our 1, 2, 3 top formation. I love this combination of indicators. They are really nailing it. And the more we go over it and practice it, the more I hope that all of us are going into the profits for this. Let's go on to Litecoin now. Switch this one, switch that one, move the chat box back into place, and we're good to go. Bitcoin's building up in the background. Litecoin had a top formation at the same time as the other coins. Little small top formation here. Tough to trade, but we pointed it out yesterday saying it is a top and it's coming up underneath it now, which is a sell signal after the 1, 2, 3 formation. It's an alternative signal after the 1, 2, 3. At the same time, we have a larger 1, 2, 3 bottom that it broke out of. And now the prices have come back and they're retesting this number 2 point where it could be a place where it consolidates and pulls back up. But for that to happen, now we'll have to see the RSI change direction. It's going to have to give us a little 1, 2, 3 in its own. And if this holds its own while we have higher prices, this is a hidden bearish divergence, isn't it? So I'm not thinking that this is done yet. Pretty close though, for it to come down to the 50% level. It's pretty close. It'll come down to fight in this level area here, and it'll give us the turnaround. It'll give us the 1, 2, 3. Great. You know, the RSI is phenomenal. It pretty much tells the entire story. The RSI, I like all of these. I like that this was good volume and better volume. Good and better. So I am anticipating this is not going to go far. And when it does a turnaround, let's pay attention, because I think Litecoin is going to go 10 times in value over the next year. It's going to go from 100 or whatever it is, $80 US right now. It's going to go over $800 to $1,000 US each. And so to purchase some and sit on it is an enormous plan. At these levels, it's crazy. We're just zooming in now to see when's the specific moment. Let's go on to the MACD indicator on the 4-hour time frame. Cross to the negative, just as the 1, 2, 3 top formation set up yesterday. So I know that is exactly what we were talking about yesterday. Wondering, saying, I wanted to go positive, but no way, not until this crosses positive. It didn't do it. In fact, it continued down. And we saw, actually, this isn't helpful. It's been so lazy all the way down here that every time it's wavering and almost coming up, it feels like this is going to be going up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. And then it just keeps fading back down and down. So this is why the longer time frames help filter out some of this. So let's go into Litecoin in the Ichimoku cloud on the 4-hour time frame. Just coming into the cloud, it is negative. The cloud hasn't switched negative yet. The trailing indicator hasn't cut through everything yet. So again, this could support and hold in this range. And if it went sideways, this would be giving us a build up to a buy signal. We'll watch that for sure. But on the 1-hour time frame, it already broke below earlier. And I wonder, yes, indeed, I'll bet you yesterday this was already below. It must be. Yesterday, this was already below the cloud on the 1-hour time frame. So it had already given us the answer. Now that we're seeing this trend and we're looking for a 1, 2, 3 break out of that trend, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be phenomenal. This will be a really clear signal when it comes. Phenomenal. Okay, now let's go on to Tron and move the chat box up to where it should be. And go over to Tron coin. Tron on the 4-hour time frame. It didn't make as nice of a 1, 2, 3 top formation. In fact, it broke a little higher here and then just broke down along with the other coins. So that wasn't as easy to trade. I moved my stop up underneath this and got stopped out as it was coming down. Thought, oh, bummer. As it was coming down, I thought it was going to be bouncing off these areas and keep going. So I was kind of bummed that I got stopped out there at a profit. But now I can reevaluate and get into another position. And if it continues to come down, CND is abnormal buying activity. If this continues to come down and give me another formation, it'll be phenomenal. It'll be great that I got kicked out at that time. Perfect. So the RSI is not giving us anything positive yet. All of these things are like hold off and wait now until this consolidation comes back. So here again, I like the volume. So this is on my favorites list now. And I really want it to come back and give us a formation that I can jump on, that I can put some leverage onto that trade. Let's go on to the 4-hour MACD indicator. Cross to the negative with a negative divergence while this was going higher. So that makes this trade a lot easier to identify. Even though it wasn't a 1, 2, 3 top formation, this points out the negative divergence going on in there. And I love this 4-hour time frame. It really is great. Now on the 1-hour time frame, lots of dumping, still flaring negative, so I'm not expecting it to hold its bladder here. It's probably going to be doing some more pissing off the roof pattern here. Failed 1, 2, 3 formation. Down she goes. And we don't know how far down it goes. Let's go on to the 4-hour time frame of the Ichimoku cloud. Just coming down to the cloud here, just starting to get negative. If I zoom into the 1-hour time frame, it cut through the cloud too, but later. So we had more advanced warning with that MACD again, and this confirmed the moment of the get out as that's breaking through. So it cleaned up this 1, 2, 3 top formation by adding in those indicators and watching for the divergences. High 5 indicators. Okay, that's Bitcoin. We'll come back to Bitcoin, of course, but let's go on to Ripple. Ta-da! Ripple and the chat box up top. BTC, unusual selling. No, that's GRS. This has already come back to its 50% level now. Made a good blast off higher out of this and really has pulled back and run out of steam. And it's one of the reasons that trading signals out of the 4-hour time frame is a lot of work. And unless you are ready for trading a choppy market and getting out with part of your profit on a big move, it gets to be a lot of work that turns into a lot of small profits. Or if this fades down and keeps going, sometimes it can turn these little moves into small losses, especially if you're jumping in with a market order, following it after it's broken out. Then you're probably buying in high and it's pulling back and you're going, damn, like what a great breakout. And it turns out to be a fake. It happens so much on this time frame that I've created filters to clean that up so that I don't jump into those. I don't even react to them. I wait for them to say, this is good. Awesome. I know it's going to come back and give me the better trade entry. So let's wait and see for that to happen. I love it that we can map this out ahead of time and talk about it. So this gave big volume, and on the next one, less volume. On the next one, no volume. So yesterday, as we were doing this, we must have looked at this volume to say that it was going down and pathetic. We must have. Absolute. If we go on to Ripple and we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, it also had the crossover. All of them did out of this little 1, 2, 3 top formation right here. So we had this great little boom. But as soon as Bitcoin is waking up, it's way too big compared to all of the other alts. When it starts to move, they shudder. And here we are. That's a cross and a lower cross. So it's still not done going down. We are going to get more lows out of Ripple. And I believe all of the alts. Bitcoin's going to step up. Bitcoin dominance is moving up right now. And this is the measure of the alts pulling back from their 1, 2, 3 top formations. I'll have a little bit more screenshots on that in a second. EOS. Yes, we'll do that again, but we did it earlier in the episode already. Vraga Jambe. I love trying to pronounce names. It's got to be funny for you guys hearing me try it. What are we looking at now? Oh, I want to go to Ripple, and I want to see the 4-hour time frame before my eyes focus on it. There we go. So 1, 2, 3 top, just pulling back into the 4-hour. And I want to pay attention to the 4-hour time frame because it's sort of a view of what's going on in the 12-hour. And this is my main view of watching the markets and my main view of trading the markets. So once we get a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation in a 12-hour time frame shaping up, this shows that the market is changing direction. It's going this way now. It's not going this way. which is really sucks when you get into these markets and they go sideways for 3 months and other markets are going up. You really want to filter those out. You don't want to be holding those. And we certainly don't want to be holding these that are, 1, 2, 3 bottoms. Everybody gets excited and then they do this down, down, down more. There's still lots of room for this to go down. So we want to filter out those moves. We don't even want to pay attention or jump at these things. We want to wait. Wait for the better, easier money. It's hard to do, to sit and wait, for sure. Let's go. There's Bitcoin dominance. I want to take a look at... Yesterday, I was really talking about Bitcoin looking like a top formation. It's going to be coming down. We have way too many longs in the market. And I still think we do. Look at the number of longs that we have here now, right at the end of September. Pretty much the same as what we had in the middle of July when we had that top formation. So every time we get the longs up to this high, it seems that it's the wrong time to be long. The shorts aren't that high, but then again, Bitcoin is making a potential bottom formation. And this takes the cake for me. That rules over all of everything else. When we see the 1, 2, 3 formation, we've got a series of higher lows, and we're sitting on a series of reversal candles all the way along here. Now, as this 1, 2, 3 starts to shape up, it's starting to give us that nested 1, 2, 3 shape that is the turnaround. That always is the turnaround. You always have a 1, 2, 3 formation. Always. Here's a 1, 2, 3 formation. Here's a 1, 2, 3 formation. Always. Let me close this off now. All right, so that wraps it up. Let's see what I'm looking at. Oh, this screen doesn't show up very well over there. Now, what does this screen show us? Okay, more just basic stuff. Oh, the bull market watch. Let me bring the chat box up into place. The bull market watch is an awesome report. This is phenomenal. And we can see here that this morning, if I could zoom this in, let me see if I can just grab it and drag it. Success. You see here that the yellow went from 17 to 8. These are the alerts in Poloniex from yesterday to today. The alerts eased back that much. And instead, they went from 22 neutral coins up to 30 neutral coins. So this is the bull market easing back, and we can see it across an average of all the different coins. So the bullishness of the alts right now is definitely pulling back a step, and we can see it in our measurement here of the average of all of the different coins. We can see the step back here. It didn't step back quite as much in Binance yesterday from the day before to yesterday, but I believe that by tomorrow morning, this will step back another big degree, where a whole bunch of our alert coins may step back. Maybe our hold coins might start to get out of their hold status too. We'll have to see how these things are going. And this sheet that I show you here, I only show you a little bit of it. If you are a patron sponsor, you get access to this sheet, and there are all sorts of different filters to help us get right down to the coins that are the ones that should be part of your portfolio now. And the color coding is phenomenal in that it makes everything so simple to identify which of the coins you should be or should not be holding. I'm just preparing a report right now based on what happened back in January, February, March, because I'm going to mark up the charts that show the ranges when the markets were into the alert status and when they went into hold status and when they pulled back out of hold status, so that we can see the color coding in the chart and understand how this color coding works with the bottom formations to let us know when we should be getting in and when we should be getting out of these coins. The next great thing is that we are setting this up to work with Zignally, so that all of this is going to be automated. You can just get an account at Zignally, hook this up to your Binance account, and it will take care of putting you in with a very small percentage of your portfolio into any one of these different trades as they're setting up. Phenomenal stuff, super exciting. I just really love working on this stuff and continuing to develop it. Now, what's this one? Oh, the ultimate, no, this is the How to Overcome Greed and Fear in Trading Bitcoin. It's a book that I put out onto Amazon. $3 for that book. Check it out. There's some good stuff in there. Now, let me do some requests. And I'm going to have to make a new slide here for the requests slide, so that it's individual and focused. So if there's anyone new on the stream and you haven't subscribed yet, do it while we're live. I want to test the notifications and the alerts that go on, and you'll get this special place in the screen down here. You'll be listed as the new subscriber. And if you subscribe through this while the stream is not live, and you're the latest subscriber when we go live, you'll be down here. You'll be listed there. So hit the subscribe button. Now let's go on. Help me grow the channel. If you like this stuff and you're back every day and you haven't subscribed yet, help me grow the channel. Let's go on to some of these, take a look at. IOP, this is a new one to me. IOP, Bittrex. Hey, it's done some pumping. Pumping. 1 day view. Oh, I love the RSI in that, actually. This has some history. Why do I not see the September 2018? So just before everything started crashing, they released their project. They were all super pumped, and then, bah, killed. So I don't know what their project is, but you can see that there was some interest in it as these bottoms were shaping up. There's some people starting to accumulate it. And along here, the volume has changed quite a bit. This is an accumulation pattern of whatever this project is. There are people interested in it, and I don't have to know a thing about blockchain technology to know that this is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. The prices are looking pretty good here. Let me clear off the mess and zoom in on this. So our RSI is doing good, except that it's so good right now, I'd like it to cool off a little bit. I like this chart pattern because it's crossing on the 12-hour time frame, but I like it even better because it has done its little notice, like jump up and said, hello, we're going to be moving soon. And then it's come back and said, anybody else want to get on the train? So this is this is a great example of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, where I don't like to always buy on the breakout. Sometimes it's breaking out, and I feel like if I FOMO in now with a market order, I'm going to, it's going to be coming back on me, and I'll get in too late. So I've learned to sit back and watch and say, okay, that's good. I know there's going to be a whole bunch of people who FOMO in here. And then when price is coming back, they're shitting their pants and they are selling out, panic selling. So FOMO buy, panic sell, FOMO buy, panic sell, because they don't have a plan ahead of time that they've thought all the way through. So you know exactly what to do when this is happening. Now, this comes back, and if it hovers here for a while, there's plenty of time. We'll have a day or two or longer to soak up a little bit of this, soak up a little bit of it. Never buying at a market order, always as a limit order as it comes back now. And then you're positioned. And of course, if I had $100 to spend, I would probably put $1 into this coin and be super excited to see it go up to $2 or $3. I would be super excited by that, because once it goes up, then I'll put in my second dollar, because it's got a long ways it could be going up. So if it proves me right, it comes down here, I put in my dollar. And it comes up here, and then it hits its 50% level of this latest move. 50% level of the latest move. Yeah, I drew that out pretty good. And then it comes back. I got to drag this over yet. So I'm already planning this out ahead of time. Then it comes back to here and it consolidates. Everybody's, panic buying in, or the FOMO buying in, and then they're panic selling. It comes back to this old historical support and resistance. I go, oh yeah. And I put in my second dollar. And I've already got $1 worth of profit protecting me, that if it comes back, my $2 will still be a profit if it comes back all the way to here, even if I'm proven wrong, because I've got that much cushion underneath me. So now I have $1 invested that turned into $2. I added another $1 to it. I've got $3. And as it comes up here, I've got $9. And I've done that across 50 different altcoins over the next several months. And my $100 has turned into much more money. And I've learned the habit of making this trading plan work for me. I've learned the habit that my subconscious gets to understand that money works for me rather than me always working for money. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. I hope that you are getting this success along with me as I'm doing it too. I want this to work for both of us, all of us. Your success doesn't limit mine. So now let's go and take a look at GBYGB. Bum, bum, bum. So it's a pretty much a continuing theme in all of the cryptos. This actually looks so much like BitShares. Really beautiful. This would have sucked me in for sure. All of these pre-pump babies going on, they're actually exhaustion candles of the bulls being too excited and there isn't enough juice there for the bulls. So 1, 2, 3 exhaustion candles and a top formation equals pissing off the roof. Equals pissing off the roof right there. So we got to know that. We got to know that that's going to happen. And on the 12-hour time frame, this wasn't easy because it crossed negative, crossed positive. Really, this was tough. But once it's crossing that 1, 2, 3 top formation, you just got to bite the bullet and get out. Even if you bought in here and you're super excited, it's going to go to the moon. It's just a little dip. It just got to get this pattern burned into your mind so that this one doesn't burn into your pocketbook. But now that that's all done, we can't let a past 1, 2, 3 bottom failure stop you from doing the strategy on a current 1, 2, 3 bottom. And every time we come down to new 1, 2, 3 bottoms, you've got to do the pattern. You've got to do the plan. Because the one time you miss that signal, it's going to be the time that it takes off. So for me, this has got a 1, 2, and then, it came down to a new number 1 level. So the whole game starts over again. And the whole game starts over looking for a 1, 2, 3. Now this is breaking above in a very small time frame. If I was really believing in the technology, I might want to, but not really. I'm gonna still step back and wait for this to change direction. Show me that you're going somewhere. Now I'll go for the ride. And I've got lots of time. I don't want to FOMO in here and start to, while it's moving up and down, and you know what? Look at this. This kind of thing I want to avoid. I want to filter it out. I want a signal, some part of my trading plan to filter this stuff out so that I'm not even reacting to this at all. I'm not, it's saying that something is potential, but I don't want to trade that. I don't want to be jumping in and out and trying to figure that out. I'm waiting for the whole direction to change. And it will, and they'll all go together. And that's why I want to do that $1 now and $1 later, as a percentage of my portfolio into these altcoins. So sort of my idea. Good to have you along, RC. I'm glad you found it helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, share this on social media, send it out on Twitter, put it out on a Facebook group. If you've got a different Discord group that you think would benefit from this and they allow you to do that, share this. Help me grow the channel. I love doing this stuff, and the more people I can help, the more benefit for me. It's more benefit for me because I get people asking me questions like, I didn't do Zen yet. IOP coin, and that's an enormously wonderful chart, IOP coin. So I'm grateful to have you along. Otherwise, I would never have checked that. I don't watch that market. Actually, I want to go to Binance Zen. It looks identical. There was no need to go to Binance Zen. So this has really been hammered by the crypto winter. Started the project out, and look at these big candles. Look at the accumulation going on. This is an important project. Even though the winter has iced this tree up, there is real interest in this project. Every time we come to a potential bottom, there's FOMO buyers, not FOMO. FOMO. 1, 2, 3, bottom formation looking good. Oh my God. And then, so they all had to sell out, hit their stop losses. Up it goes again. Oh my God. And then it hits their stop losses all the way down. That's a tough market to trade. Even on the 1-day bar, that was a tough market to trade through that period. But that's okay, because now we've come down to where it is. So long as you're, not holding any, then it's okay. We've come down to where it's giving us a potential bottom formation. But on the 12-hour time frame, that's the 1 day, it's got a ways to go yet before it can give us a signal. It may blast off. It really could, because of all the prior commitment, everybody buying into it. Once it starts to go and the cryptos start to go, this could, but you know what? It's not one of the ones that made it into our, when I go through this spreadsheet, that wasn't one of the ones that is coming up to an alert status and then fading back and getting close to an alert status and then fading back. It's been one of the ones that's been more holding on to these near fail and fail statuses. So it needs a lot more work before it's going to come around for Zen. And that doesn't mean it's not going to blast off. It just means that it's not matching my criteria yet. And you can see it's still sort of going down. I really want it to build up enough structure, do a bunch of enough stuff that I know it's already changed direction. I'm jumping on to the uptrend stuff. And when we have it do something like this, I have the same plan for all of these coins because they all move together. And so you really only need one plan. When they get into this channel and they start to do a move back, there's my nitro move, especially when you match it up to an old historical support and resistance. Killer. Oh, this is probably where I'm going to be wanting to take some of my profits. Pocket away half of it to pay for your trade, so now the rest of it is free and you could leave it, come back and do some retesting, maybe even coming back to the 50% level of this before you add on to this trade again. Like, it's insane, and this is going to map out like this as they go. So there's no hurry for it. So long as we got this plan in advance, we know that the profits are going to be there. We'll take our $1 and we'll turn it into $3. We'll take our $1, we'll add our second dollar onto it, and maybe we can turn them in, both of them into $9. Insane profits, and we're lining up for it. So I want those success stories from you guys. Hey, Send Crypto, I love your channel. I was watching some of your stuff the other day, and you've got some great techniques with your charting, stuff that I don't do. And I've always looked at those patterns and this stuff, and I just can't get it. Maybe it's beyond me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I just see, well, there's a 1, 2, 3 top formation in there. That's all I really had to pay attention to for my own part. So I'll bet you when we do these things afterwards, you'll be able to map out some of those Elliott waves. Phenomenal. It's a year now since you started doing the altcoin daily update. I started doing this in 2015, actually. I started doing videos. I started doing videos in 2009, but I was doing them on the price of, and I was kind of shy to talk about this before. But before I found cryptocurrencies and I didn't have money to trade stocks, I had money to trade stocks. I didn't know how to get started. And so I should have been doing it, but I wasn't. I was practicing my 1, 2, 3 bottom formations by trading items on the RuneScape Grand Exchange. And so I would watch things like copper ore, gold ore, and iron ore on the game. And you can see this has gone up 1.8% in the last 24 hours. And I would check out the chart patterns and look at the 9-month view of this. And we can easily see our 1, 2, 3 bottom formations shaping up in this. And in this game, just by buying and selling, buying low and selling high, gems and herbs and whatever else in the game was going up and down, I made myself into a billionaire. I went from 1 million gold pieces in the game to 1 billion gold pieces in the game just by merchanting. And so when I came to cryptocurrencies and I started doing the same thing in 2015, I 10 times my money from May of 2015 to May of 2016. I went from $500 to $5,000. Then from 2016 to 2017, I went from $5,000 to over $50,000. And then I went on to 10 times that again, too, before the year was over. And it was all because I was ready for what these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations do. And I was also familiar with how many months it takes for these things to shape up. So, for example, inside this game, the game creators would make a change that changed the supply and demand of a specific item. And even though everybody in the game knew that that item had changed usage, it would take months for that chart pattern to slowly play its way out. Hey, look at this. I'm still listed on their bottom of their thing here. And it probably goes to a domain name that is no longer working. Yeah. So I was doing this a long time ago, teaching people about this pattern. That's funny. I haven't been back here in a long time. And so I am determined to make this pattern work for me. It's working for me in gold and silver and platinum right now. It's been working for me phenomenally in these cryptos, except for this past year. It's been particularly sad. We made some good profits in the new year from December to February. But after that, it's been just hell since then for cryptos. For sure. So let me go and check where we are here. Good little soliloquy, good story at the end. I appreciate you being here, Send Crypto. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to check out Send Crypto's channel. He's got a private, what do you call that? Telegram group as well. Check him out. Now, I guess that wraps it up here for today. That is 1 hour. I want to keep it to an hour. We can go through all this stuff in an hour and answer questions, any questions that you have. If you've downloaded the details from the homepage of the website and you have this complete trading system, I am waiting for people to ask me questions and say, hey, what about this right now? What about stage 3 right now in this trade? Should I be thinking about stage 4 in this trade? Those are really clear plans, and I hope that you are putting them into your pocket and you're not coming back 6 months from now and saying, oh shit, I should have downloaded it when you told me to. What a difference it might have made for me. Boom. I'm playing on BitMEX testnet, right? I've got to put this as a screen on here so that I remember, because I've got that BitMEX testnet account as well, and I just don't even go into it to check and see what those pretend trades are. I will, though. So, Jenny, good to have you along. Send Crypto, thanks for tuning in. RC, Vagra, I didn't do EOS because I did it earlier. But EOS is a sell signal. And it was a sell signal in yesterday's episode. Yesterday it was even better because it was higher. But as it's coming, little 1, 2, 3 top formation. Broke down below it, came up and retested it and failed. And broke down below the larger 1, 2, 3 formation. So now I'm like hands off now until it stabilizes. And I do believe, and I have no idea, of course, no one can tell you the future. But all I can do is be prepared for the plan. If it does this, if it does that, then I know what I'm going to do. So I'm expecting it'll come back to the 50% level just because it happens so often. It's kind of spooky how often prices come back to that 50% level. The 61, the 38, these mid-range Fibonacci's are pretty astonishing sometimes. So that wraps it up here for today. I will sign off and get myself a big glass of water. Time to go and get ready for evening yoga. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers. let me pull back into EOS again. Abruptly cutting the music. EOS, 3-month time frame. It didn't give me a pretty 1, 2, 3 bottom formation buy signal because it came down, it went up. Sure, it is a 1, 2, 3, but by the time it's breaking above that, this is a large percentage move. And now I feel like I'm jumping on something after it's already started moving. And I wanted to do a tighter 1, 2, 3 formation. So this one never really worked out warm for me. But now we have a 1, 2, 3 top. The 1, 2, 3 is just a failed retest of a recent high or low. So this is a confirmed 1, 2, 3 top. It's confirming that we had this little 1, 2, 3 and it broke below it, came back and retested and then down more. That's a double confirmation. And that's why I'm saying I'm expecting to come back to here. But if Bitcoin is taking off and rallying in the background and Bitcoin dominance continues its move up here, I think the alts are going to take a real I've been saying this for a while and I've not proven right yet. Who knows? But if this happens, then I believe we're going to get a spanking in the altcoins. We haven't really hit that panic capitulation yet. Everybody's all depressed and down, but we really could come back to these ranges in the Bitcoin dominance that we haven't seen in a long time. And I don't think it'll be long because the alts really are better technologies, better, stronger, faster. It'll be a quick move up and a quick move down. And as this comes up quickly and comes down, the alts are going to be doing bottom formations that are V-shaped this time and not 1, 2, 3s. They are going to do, hey, I can dump it all. They are going to, if that is coming up the way I'm fearing, part of me fears, the alts are going to do a capitulation, low, and a consolidation where we can think about an action. Until then, you just got to hold your breath and do nothing unless you are, like selling out as soon as it starts to go. As soon as everything starts to go, this is a potential. But for me, there's no action to take at all when this starts to go. I just hold my breath, wait for it, and then I can, it's like going through the undertow. You just got to hold on to your breath as this is happening. And we'll see. Because I do think it'll be temporary, that Bitcoin will do a parabolic run up and then it's going to pull back down and give us that pain. There's more pain coming. It's not going to be so easy. But anyway, I could go on all day, and I do over on our Discord chat. So come and join us there. Thanks again, S was. We'll see you guys next time.